All right, there we go. The day is Monday, January 12th. It is an upper day, but most importantly, welcome back. It is a full day of eating on the bulk as promised. So just a little introduction here. I'm recording this midday on the Monday, so I've already had a few meals, which you're gonna see in a minute. But where am I at in the bulk? How much am I eating? What am I focusing on? I am currently 100, almost 150 days into a bulk, so I've been bulking all the way since back in August. And of course, the calories that I started on was not as high as I'm eating right now. So me personally, my maintenance calories, which is the amount of calories that you eat to not gain or lose any weight. So maintenance, if you're eating at maintenance, this is your body weight. It's not going anywhere. You're not in a deficit, you're not in a surplus. So when you're bulking, you're in a calorie surplus, of course. So my maintenance naturally is quite high because I used to play soccer and I'm a quite active person and I have been my whole life. So my maintenance was pretty much, it used to be higher, but now it was around 3,000 calories. 3,200 maybe you could say. So back in August, I started the bulk and I was eating 3,400 calories, 3,400. I ate like that for a few weeks until my body weight plateaued and my lifts were not progressing as well. And then whenever that happens, I just up the calories. So I've upped the calories multiple times now. It's been a long time. And today, coincidentally on the Monday, this wasn't planned, but I actually upped the calories today. And now I'm at 4,200, 4,200. So out of those 4,200, how much of it is what? Protein, I'll eat a lot of protein. That's just part of my diet. I'll do around 200, even maybe upwards of 200 grams of protein, maybe pushing 250 some days. Carbs is the most important macronutrient. I will always stress this forever. Carbs decide how you feel, how you look, everything. Carbs are super important, even more important than protein. I wouldn't even say it's debatable. I would just say that carbs are definitely the most important nutrient. So currently, I'm doing upwards of 500 grams of carbs, which I've been doing for the last few weeks. And apologies, had to change locations. But as I was saying, I'm currently starting today. I'm gonna do closer to 550 grams of carbs, which, it's a lot, but like I said, carbs are the most important. They're gonna decide how you feel, how you look, everything, especially these quick digesting carbs, which you're gonna see later in the video. So that's it. So today it's gonna be the upper day, which you're gonna see breakfast, lunch, which is the pre-workout meal, the big meal, and then the lifting, the training today will be upper. And Monday is always an upper day, so I'm gonna show some of the sets, not everything, but some of the big sets. I'm definitely gonna record them and show them. And then it'll be chronological, so you'll see the lift, and then following the lift, the post-workout meal and things like that. It'll probably be 4 meals in total with but a good amount of snacking in between as well. So let's get this upper started. All right, so before we get the upper started, here we go, 2 big meals. The first meal, breakfast at 6:48 in the morning. We got a bagel with cream cheese, and we got 5 eggs with mushrooms, as well as 2 white cheddar rice cakes. So as you can see, the full macros are on the screen, and here are just some of the products that I use for these foods. So first meal of the day. All right, meal number 2 is currently being cooked. It is around 12 o'clock in the day. This second meal is going to be chicken, rice, as well as bread and tzatziki sauce on the bread and the chicken. All right, so here we go. Like I said, this is meal 2. This is the pre-workout meal about 2 hours before the upper day. And as you can see, it's a pretty heavy meal. Now, some of these numbers aren't exactly correct, especially with the protein and the calories, just because the way I do it is I cook a certain amount of chicken that I eat most of it. Let's say like I'll eat 3/4 of it with this big meal and then save the remaining quarter or the remaining third roughly for the evening. So it's not exact. I don't know exactly how much is in this meal and how much is in the other meal. I just know how much is for the entire day. But like I said, here we go, meal 2, big meal, and 2 hours before the training. And as far as specifics go, this meal is 250 grams of white rice, 19.2 ounces of chicken, which is for the whole day. So if I had to estimate, I would say it's about 12 to 13 ounces of chicken here, the rest of which I'm going to eat later, and 2 slices of bread, as well as 4 tablespoons of tzatziki sauce, which equals 70 calories. Tzatziki sauce is really a pretty low calorie sauce, so if you're in a cutting phase or even in a bulking phase, it's definitely something that you should add to your diet that will enhance your chicken and rice that you eat. Now, the most important part, like I talked about in the last video, pre-workout, fast digesting carbs, fruits, rice cakes, honey, and the pre-workout that I'm having today. All right, just arrived at the gym. Small sauna in here, so come in for a few minutes before the workout, fully clothed, everything. maybe a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, just to get the blood boiling, get warm, get ready for the workout, even before the warm-up. I think there's value to it. Really, get in here, get warm. It really gets your blood flowing. You get in the mindset. And as we speak, I'm consuming the pre, and I'm gonna start the workout in about 20 to 30 minutes, so it makes sense. And 2 Rice Krispies, so for the further fast digesting carbs. I'm gonna be in here a few minutes, get some music going, get in the mindset, and then get out there and start the workout. So this is perfect. The workout is complete. The upper day is complete. It's now 5 o'clock in the evening. So just got back from the gym, gonna shower, stretch a little bit. And then you will see the remaining meals for the day. How was the workout? You know, it would be easy for me to say, great workout, you know, everything went perfect, progress and everything, but that is not true. You know, I went in there, I went hard, I gave my absolute everything, but that's just the nature of it. Sometimes you're not going to have a perfect workout. There was some sets where I didn't progress when I really was confident that I would or I really wanted to. For example, the first set of Incline Smith, you know, I got 215 for 7, even though I was really, really hyped to get 8 because last week I got 7, so I was going to get 8 this time. But it is what it is. Shit happens. You know, I progressed on a few sets, not all of them, or not all that I wanted to progress on, but that's just the nature of the game. I was well prepared. I was in the right mindset, maybe not in the perfect mindset, but, you know, it happens. So it was a great workout, but it wasn't a perfect workout. It can't be a perfect workout every time. Whatever. The point of what I'm trying to say is that, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but what I can do now is only continue to get my food in, and I still stimulated the muscle. It's not like it was a nightmare or anything. So I still stimulated my muscles, and I'm still going to grow from it. So the most important thing now is to eat food and get ready for tomorrow's lower day. So like I said, workout is complete. As always, the full workout is in the description if you want to take a look, because I only showed some of the top sets on each muscle group. For example, I showed like chest, back, biceps, triceps, but obviously I did a bunch of other sets, especially shoulders and things like that I didn't show. But like I said, workout in the description. So let's get some more food in. Here we go. Meal number 3, the post-workout meal. It's been about an hour since the workout. I got home, like I said, I showered, stretched, and now it's time for meal 3. What's part of this meal? Okay, right here, we got chicken and rice, the remainder of the chicken that I cooked earlier with 200 grams of rice instead of 250, which I had during the pre-workout meal. So that makes the total rice that I have for the day is 450 grams. And a serving of tzatziki sauce, you know, make it taste good. And then, same as in the morning, a bagel with cream cheese right here. This is about another 55 grams of carbs. And next, right here, cooking currently, I have some oats. Now, this is 80 grams of oats, which is about 60 grams of carbs. And then I'm going to put honey on it, so to add another 60 calories, 17 grams of carbs. However, these oats, I'm going to have this meal right now, and the oats, I'm cooking them right now, but I'll probably eat them in just about another hour. Now, why is that? The truth is, do I want to be eating these oats? And the answer is hell no. To be totally honest with you, the one thing that I struggle with is eating oats. Oats are an amazing source of carbs. Slow digestion carbs, so I wouldn't recommend having it, you know, right before your workout, but maybe 2 hours before. And, you know, post-workout, totally appropriate too. However, I can't eat oats. Even putting honey or fruits or anything make it sweeter. For me, I'm not a fan of oats at all. However, I still have to eat them. And, you know, that's really what the bulk is about. Sometimes you get to a point, and it's not going to be like that the entire bulk. Once you get to a certain point, though, in terms of how much calories you're eating, how many calories, and how many grams of carbs you have to have per day, you kind of don't have a choice. Now, you could say you could blend the oats and make it into a smoothie. Totally fine. However, I currently don't have any milk at the house, so, you know, that's not an option. But the truth is, I'm going to have to, you know, eat this first part of the meal, which I'm going to enjoy, and then I'm going to take a break. Honestly, it sounds crazy, but I'm going to take a break for an hour, have some oats, maybe take a few minutes, and then finish it. But that's just really how it is. So like I said, right here's the post-workout meal, the remainder of the chicken with rice and some sauce, and then a bagel with cream cheese. And after this, we're still going to have meal 4, which is to be decided. I'm not 100% sure on what that's going to be. But I'm definitely going to throw a protein bar in there at the end of the day, you know, just for the sweet tooth a little bit too. So there we go. Okay, a few hours later, the time is now 8 o'clock. It's time for the last meal of the day. Now, the oats that I was cooking earlier, I ate them with honey. And I had a protein bar, a Barbell's protein bar for 200 calories, 20 grams of protein. So last meal of the day, not heavy at all, but 2 Oikos yogurts. Vanilla Oikos yogurt, so this is going to be 180 calories, 30 grams of protein. 1 chocolate rice cake with them for 12 grams of carbs. And another protein bar just because it fit conveniently. Barbell's chocolate dough. Barbell's, this company, Barbell's, my favorite protein bar company by far. But that's the last meal of the day, nothing too crazy. 8 p.m. before going to sleep in an hour or two, so not the heaviest meal in the world, about to consume it, but on that note, that is it. You know, total calories for the day, total calories and total macros for the day are gonna be listed right here. So that's it. That's the full day of eating on the bulk, including the upper training, which you saw earlier. So if there's any questions about the bulk, please be sure to let me know, and I'll definitely be eager to do another video like this, full day of eating. And that's it.